My name is John Alexander Jr., and I am the director of the newly created Juvenile Justice and Community Support Programs Department of the City of Gainesville, where we work out of the city manager's office. And here in our city, as well as across the nation, we've seen a major uptick in violence. A lot of this may be contributed to the pandemic, but all in all, we begin to look at violence in our community, not just from a crime perspective, but from a public health perspective. What are the things that are contributing to some of the crimes, such as poverty, low socioeconomic situations, lack of resources, lack of access to those things. And so as a community, our job is to come together, and we need to come together to begin to pool our resources and make sure that no one falls through the cracks, that we're able to address some of the disparities and the underlying causes, the root causes of the uptick in crime that we've seen. One of our departments in juvenile justice and community support programs is the Reichert House Youth Academy. The Reichert House was started back in 1987 by two men who began to look at the issues of the revolving door. They saw young men getting arrested, and they were right back out on the streets, right back in the same elements that caused them to get in trouble in the first place. And the program evolved throughout the years, and it was started by our former chief of police, Tony Jones, and Mr. Richard Baxter, who was a counselor for a local nonprofit organization. And these two young men started this program. It grew throughout the years, and the main goal of the program is to teach young men how to think positive about themselves, to become contributing members to society through protective factors that combat what we know under the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention as risk factors. The program takes young men who meet 3 of the 5 risk factors outlined by OJJDP. And so we look at those individuals who are most prone to venture into a life of delinquent behavior. The program focuses on character development, educational enhancement, life skills and awareness, and recreation. In 2009, the organization was actually recognized for saving the state of Florida over $11.5 million taxpayers' dollars by keeping young men who would typically go into the juvenile justice system out of the penal system into positive things such as graduating from high school and employment, and positive aspects in post-secondary placement. The Reichert House is just one of about 8 units in the Juvenile Justice and Community Support Programs Department that specifically work to help curb some of the gun violence that we're seeing in our community. One of the aspects that we believe heavily in is that the more we can come together and collaborate, put together our resources, ensure that we're not working in silos, then that work towards that particular progress could actually save a life. I myself, having been a member of an organization that worked with at-risk youth, it touches the heart when we're seeing some of our young people lose their lives to things such as gun violence. We personally at the Reichert House have actually buried a couple of young men this past year, losing them to gun violence. And so we're here as an organization, as a staple in our community, to say we're willing to do whatever we can to ensure that we can come together and ensure that the city of Gainesville, Alachua County, this is a place where our young people and our citizens all together can have a place in peace and feel safe in their communities. End gun violence, GNV.